let's start. My name is Avi Kostantini. I'm the lead manager of the R&D operation team and the infrastructure team at Wix. So let's start. So Wix is a platform that gives you the freedom to create, design, manage, and develop your web presence exactly the way you want it. No programming knowledge is needed. And when I'm saying no program knowledge is needed, you can go to the Wix editor, open it, design your site, open the box, the editor box to start writing your own code on top of Wix editor and build your own web application for mobile or desktop sites, okay? We provide a platform for SMBs to develop their own business by using a variety of tools. Our model is B2C. We don't have any salesperson at the company. The department that are in charge of bringing customers to Wix is the marketing team, and from there, it's the R&D job to make sure that that user will be converted and buy premium package in the end. So let's talk about scale. 10 years ago, since I joined Wix, I remember a time when we had just one product, 40 people, maybe 50 support tickets. But the thing that I remember the most is the things were moving fast. Developing, QA, ideas, getting approvals. 10 years later, okay? Wow, just to be here in front of you took me 2 weeks of approval from our legal team, okay? That's the cost of scale. When you're going bigger, things are getting slower, okay? Let's talk about managed unhappy users. So managed unhappy users today, in the traditional ways, is not scalable anymore. We all know what a single unhappy user can do for your company. But did you actually try to understand what are the numbers behind each and every unhappy user? Do you know what's the effect of that user? Do you know how much users are hiding behind that user, or how much money it's actually involved with your company? For every one user that is not happy or is frustrating from your product, there are a bunch of other users that just don't complain. And if it's a critical part in your journey, or in the user journey, or in your funnel, that user will just close the product, just close it. He will lose confidence in that product. He will never come back. And even if you will try to call him and try to understand what happened, he will refuse to help you. And he will say, well, I'm sorry, that's a shitty product. I don't want to waste my time anymore. And thank you very much. So let me ask you a question now that I will answer later. For a company in Wix's size, does 20 complaints about a specific issue during 1 week mean something? Just think about that. Should I, as the lead of the R&D operation team, should take a group of developers and tell them, guys, stop what you're doing and investigate what the root cause behind these support tickets? I will answer that later. By the way, by the raise of your hands, someone thinks it's a lot, it's a small number. Should I do something? What do you think? Okay. Do something. Okay. Let's see. So it seems like today, your support team at the company is the last team to actually get the ticket from that user. Okay? Today, even at Wix that we are so much data-driven, sometimes after we are doing like a big GA, I'm actually going to Facebook, opening the social channel of the designers experts team, and sometimes they are even faster than finding things in New Relic, okay? They go directly to social media, they are starting to complain, then they are starting to wake up a bunch of other users who don't really use your product, but they saw that and they decided to jump in and started to complain. And then your competitors are using that in order to attack your product or say, well, our product is much better. Take a look how many complaints they have over there. And then a single issue, or a simple issue, a simple incident that was able to be solved within a few minutes, it's becoming something that the PR team needs to jump in and help you. So it's obvious that complaints cost money, but in the end of the day, all that pressure is on the shoulders of your developers, okay? Your developer always think, wow, okay, what's next? What do I need to face? And as a company, when you grow, okay, as I said, things are getting more complicated. The velocity of the R&D team is actually going down. There are more people, more things to approve, more GAs, RCs, products, demands, pressure to deliver more. The velocity is going down, okay? So as a company, we always try to set our own expectation in terms of improving the velocity of the entire team. By the way, one of the week's KPIs this year was to try and improve the velocity of the company, okay, of the R&D team. So I will share with you a real story that we decided to build a new automation tool to give our developers a way to develop way much faster. And you run POC, everything works properly, you decide to start developing it, and everything works as expected. And then we said, okay, let's start using it. And then from one side, we had a lot of teams at Wix that were really happy from that tool. However, other teams was really suffering from that tool, and instead of helping them save time, we actually made it worse, a lot worse. And because we are all friends at work, no one really came and complained about it. And up until that point, we always thought, and I bet that a lot of you here are thinking the same thing, we are always trying to monitoring our customers, how our product is using. However, we are not looking internally into the team itself. We are not looking how we can actually improve the way that our developers are working or the velocity of our company, okay? And in order to be able to do that, sometimes you even need to build a set of tools that will help you to take a look on your entire organization, not just how your product looks and not just the error rate that you have. So that blindness caused a lot of unhappy developers within the team, okay? And when an unhappy person, they just don't want to help you and cooperate. It means that when we launched that product, we did not have a way to understand that we have an issue internally, and the only way that we could try and understand is to start sending Google Forms to the developers and get feedbacks. And at that point, I stopped and said, guys, please, I want to see the things in my eyes. I want a dashboard to explain me what exactly our developers are facing. How much time it takes them to do a GA, how much time it takes them to build their app, and so on. Only then we were able to go and improve the things that we were needed internally in order to improve the velocity. So what I want to say is that for a company, sometimes when you decide to use the latest technology in the market, okay, you want to use Kubernetes, you want to use new tools that will say, wow, your company are using that, that's so cool. But if you're not able to measure that, so what's the point? What did you really improve? Did you improve something? Did you broke something else? Okay? So think about that to start checking the things internally inside your company. So it's obvious, complaints are bad. And for a company in weak size that are getting 7 tickets a day, if we find out about a complaint from a user side, that's too late. Okay? That's way too late. After every incident at Wix on production, we have a post-mortem. We invite all the people that were involved, and the first question we are asking, who found that issue? If it's a monitoring tool, that's great. If it was found by a Wix user, it means that we failed to catch it automatically. And if it was found by a Wix employee, Okay, so we did not affect on production, but however, we still were not able to find it in advance. Sorry. So let's take a look on the Wix garden. Back on 2009, we had just 50 developers, 1 R&D center, just 2 products, and 40 tickets a day from customers. So when a new developer joins to Wix, he gets 2 things on his first day. Can someone try to tell me what are those things? Okay. So the first thing he gets on the morning is a shot of tequila. Just because we love it and we celebrate with him together. The second thing that he gets is the keys to production. He can break the entire Wix on that day, okay? And I'm not joking, I will share with you a real story. During the summertime, we love to take students from high school and help them to develop themselves. So we had a 16 years old guy that we hired during the summer, and we told him, okay, your job is to take all the experiments that right now on production, terminate them, and merge the code to production. And that's exactly what he did, and he broke all Wix for 15 minutes. Why? Because the first thing he made was to terminate an experiment that was on production, open to 100% of the users, and the code was not GA. So he's still working for the company, but we invited his mom to a talk. I'm joking. So in 2010, we changed our development methodology from waterfall to continuous delivery, which means don't wait. Whatever is ready, deliver. Okay? Whatever is ready, go to production. So back on that time, on average, a developer will get to make a GA couple of times a month. Okay, we're talking about 2010. So time flows, and we believe that when a developer is getting responsibility, he understands there is an ownership. Okay, so responsibility is driving ownership. Okay, we don't have a knock team at Wix. If you break something, you fix it. Okay? You will not call anyone else. If you deployed something, it's under your own responsibility to make sure that it works. I don't care if I need to wake you up at 2 a.m., at 3 a.m., or if it's your holiday, or if you are right now in Greece. Okay? You will fix it. That's your code. You are in charge of it. Okay? We believe that when someone is owning something, the quality of the product increases because no one else is protecting him. We accept failures. A developer can make a mistake. That's totally fine with us. Okay? We are all doing mistakes, even myself. Okay? But our users or our developer need to understand that they can be safe about it. So in 2009, more than 1,000 developers in 5 R&D centers, multiple products. Okay? In 2018, we completed the year with 50,000 deployments. Okay? It means that every 1 minute at Wix, production change is changing. Every 1 minute, we can actually affect on users. So it's not a garden anymore. It's more like a jungle. Okay? And with all those things going in production, okay, I can bet with you that failures will happen and mistakes will happen. And take a look on my slide, okay? So you can imagine how many transactions we have, how many site views, page view, editor saves. Wow, the numbers are just huge, okay? But the most important thing, especially today in the cloud and what all other people talked about here today, that your product can be perfect. However, you rely on other services that you're not able to control them, okay? It's ISPs, geolocations, devices, operate systems, traffic that you are getting, okay? A client can decide to do, because we are hosting so many websites, someone can try to attack or do a DDoS attack on a specific site, okay? It's not just your software. Think about also a bunch of things on the way. So, as I said before, we know that complaints are bad. But sometimes the cost of not making a mistake is higher than actually making it. What does it mean? If your developer, that girl that had all the pressure on her shoulders, will keep thinking, wow, okay, so I made a mistake. That will be my third mistake. Wow, I'm nervous. She will always think, what did I forget? What I forget in my code that will break production again, okay? This will always be in her mind, and her velocity will go down automatically. It's natural. So let's take a look about what monitoring tools did for Wix. Before 2010, it took us almost 8 hours to understand that we have an issue on production. How come? So our company based is in Israel. Back on that time, we had just one R&D center in Israel. We were deploying in the morning. Most of our customers are coming from the States. They are starting to wake up after a few hours. Then they are starting to understand, or they are finding bugs. They are starting to send support tickets about it. And guess what? After 8 hours, 9 hours, we understand that there was an issue on production, and we need to roll back. Today, with monitoring tools, every issue that we found on production, using the monitoring tools, we are talking about average time of 18 minutes. 18 minutes from 8 hours. How we do that? How we keep minimize it? So, first of all, you need tools to set up your KPIs, okay? If you come and say, I want to improve the feature discoverability, so make sure that you know how to measure it. If you want to set up your company KPIs, make sure that you are able to measure it. Also, if you want to measure the internal work of your employees, make sure that you can measure it. And don't try to do micromanagement with that, okay? Just give that tool so you can understand the situation. The next tool that we are using, it's actually a tool that we developed in-house, and it's shared with the public, called Petri. You can go to GitHub and see it yourself. It's a tool to minimize impact on production, okay? This tool allows us to run multiple feature toggles and A/B tests all together and make sure that we minimize the impact on production. I can open a single test for specific country, for specific browser, under specific device, or for specific sites or group of users, and so on. The possibilities are almost endless with that tool. And everything runs together. Right now we are running around 6,000 experiments that runs all together with different numbers. Do I need to explain, guys, about feature toggle and A/B tests? Can someone, don't be shy. Should I? Yes, no? Okay, we do it really quickly because I'm almost out of time, so sorry. Feature toggle. Feature toggle. Yeah, no, okay, A/B test. So we wanted to test autosave in the Wix editor. We changed the way from a user can save it manually to autosave, and then what happened, we wanted to test it. I will do it really fast. So we started in the A/B test. We raised the numbers to make sure that everything worked properly. The server can handle everything. We got to 50%. We saw that the funnels are as expected, and we moved on. So we will move on to 100%. From other side, feature toggle. So if we want to do a change on a user side, I'm not able to get that data, okay? I need to work with a feature toggle and open that experiment to 100% on specific country and monitor the KPIs and understand what's the status on, for that country. If everything works as expected, I can add more countries to the list. So the last thing, and I think even the most important, is that a developer needs tools to understand production state. After a GA, all of our developers have the key to go and see what they changed, what was the effect. okay? But not just that. Some groups within weeks are taking that state and automatically doing rollbacks based on things which are not working. Either if something accrued as number of users affected from it, or the numbers that it happens every day. If, for example, users are starting to complain about a saving issue, or if there is an issue with some kind of a DDoS attack, so we automatically have tools today that understand what are the production state and take decisions based on that. So let me get back to my question. For a company of 140 million users, actually it's a bit more today, is 20 complaints a week is a lot. So the complaint was users are not able to save a site, okay? We had just 20 complaints. And I said, wow, that does not look right. Let's understand what are the real numbers behind that. So I found out that 11,000 users are complaining about it, are having the same issue, and are not even complaining about it. 11,000, okay? Since I know what is our conversion rate, I was able to do the math and understand that we are losing $50,000 a week. So what did I do? It was one of those ghost bugs that you are not able to understand what's really causing them, and you need to start digging somewhere. So using New Relic Insight, I was able to understand exactly what's the source, where are all those errors are coming from, and digging into it and using the group by and doing all kinds of queries, I was able to understand exactly that if a user is going into specific templates, opening it, clicking on specific button, deleting it, that was causing the issue, okay? And 100 people tried to reproduce it, and we couldn't find what was the issue. Only with the help of insights, I was able to understand what caused it. So this is the last slide. I'm not going to say which tools exactly are we using at Wix, because it's not a secret. You can catch me after that, and I will share with you information. But I believe that each and every one of you, each and every company here, need to build their own set of tools. You need to understand what are your expectations, what do you want to measure, and how you're going to do that. Is it backend? Is it frontend? Is it the user side? Is it the user of user? Is it your internal organization? You need to build your own set of tools. And they will help you to keep growing and remain scalability and velocity. They will always minimize impact on production. You will be able to understand the production status and drive your business. So lessons we learned: use data to drive your business. Every mistake costs money. Build your own set of tools to analyze issues on production and remain scalability. Use those tools to understand production status, and always try to minimize the impact on production. And remember, complaints are bad. Don't be late. That's it.